Clearly, you're not happy, baby, or this video would have never been made. Just because a certain demographic of women is being celebrated does not mean the women on the other side of that does not fit into that group is being dissed. And I know you feel that way when this person said they never said people with kids are unhappy and have nothing. They just happy about having no kids now. Your answer to that was trust me, they did say that. How did they say that and all they doing is dancing with music in the background? They ain't said a fucking word. That's just how you took it. Why? Because somewhere inside of you, you wish you was in that position. Just a little bit. You wish you had all that other shit you named and probably had some of that experience without having kids attached to you. That's probably why you feel the way that you feel.
I'm going to give my 2 cents on the topic, even though no one asked. This child-free versus child, first of all, it's just a diversionary tactic to distract women and have us pitted against each other again. Now, I'm saying this. I am 51. I have 2 children. I am also a twin. I have a twin sister, so she is also 51, if you're keeping up, and she has no kids. I did not have my first child until I was 28 years old. She is now 22. She does not have any kids, and I have a 12-year-old. I hate to say it, girlies. The women who are coming out and saying that, and the first creator I've seen on the topic, and then I've seen subsequent others that called childless women bitter, that they didn't get chosen, that they were infertile. She called them all kinds of things, really negative. I feel like there was some like hurt there. Not a psychiatrist, not a therapist or anything, but like, girl, like, why the energy? Like, don't, if you want to have 52 kids, you do that. If this one over here wants to have 0, you do that. As a person with 2 children, I'm gonna say it clear and I'm gonna say it plain. I love those muskrats. They have provided all just so much joy to my life, and I would not change a thing. But I am jealous of child-free women. I am. I know you can't have your cake and eat it too, but there is something magical about my sister's life. She gets to be a rich auntie. She gets to swoop in, have fun, drop expensive gifts and gift cards, and go home and play with her dog. She doesn't pay college tuition. She doesn't have to be up with sick kids. And best of all, she's got 2 adorable nieces. So for all of those who are like, who's going to take care of you when you get old? Her nieces are. I'm like, that's who's going to take care of her. Those girls love her. So it's not about you have to have your own kids, which I also don't believe that you should rely on your children for elder care. I might be in a situation, as well as my husband, where they are not going to be in a position to take care of us. If I have dementia or some other situation, or they can't lift me, shit, put me somewhere and just come visit. Like, I don't want that for my children. And I think that's a selfish take on a reason to have kids, is because you're going to need elder care. Like, there's like 57 reasons of why they might not be able to do that for you. So to have kids with that in mind is, I don't know, not a good plan to me. The return on investment might not be what you want on that. But once again, I wish women would not pit each other against we wouldn't argue about silly stuff like this. Not to be childless is not because no one picked you. And to have 3 kids and not be married is not a flex. And I'm saying that. I had a child before I was married, and I was with the person. We did get married, and we are now divorced, and I have a new husband that I've been with for 16 years. But that first one, I mean, so we cannot continue to kind of denigrate and downgrade. Your choices are your choices, and as long as you are happy with them, That's all that matters. I mean, but to say that there's not benefits on each side is kind of silly when, neither side is absolute. There are pros and cons to both sides, but I have more friends, and I'm, like I said, 51, who don't have kids than do. And we're all in that 50 to, 60 age span, or even like 40 to 60 age span. I have lots of friends who've never had children and they're okay with that. And so as long as you are okay with it, I actually think that that is beautiful because they are living the life that they want to live. And some of them are married and some of them are not. Some of them travel the world, but they're all super happy and fulfilled. And, my mom friends, are we like battle worn and tired and ran ragged? Yes. Do we love the snuggles, cuddles, and, the successes and joys of our children? Yes. Each of the scenarios have pros and cons. I have much respect for mothers because I am one, and I have much respect for women who have decided not to be mothers because not everyone should be a mother. We need to get that out of the... I worked for DCS for a time. Not everyone should be a mother, and that is not the role of women solely. Like, that is not our sole, purpose on earth. So if you don't have any other purpose besides producing children, just from an opinion of Stephanie, you probably should find one, because that is not your sole purpose on here on earth, is not to just to create other humans. Okay, in my opinion, it is not. The Lord has intended for you to do something else besides that. So once you figure that out, maybe you'll want to stop having so many children, because children are exhausting. Let's be real. They're lovable. I love my girls. Wouldn't trade them for the world. I would lay down my life for those humans. But I do like to travel alone. I do like to do vacations on my own. I do like to have some me time. And it is super hard to do with a bunch of kids. That's all.
Okay, so forgive the hair. I have women's Rogaine going on. Just leave it alone. My hairline is in Africa. I have to just add to the video that I made yesterday. I went to a function. One of my best friends is very pregnant with her fourth kid, okay? We see someone that we haven't seen in a very long time, and she's talking to my friend. And then she looks at me and she's like, I can't believe she's having her fourth kid. And she goes, how many kids do you have? I said, oh no, I don't have any kids. She goes, oh, okay. And then I said, I don't really want kids. And she just goes, oh. The striking, how many kids do you have? To oh. The disappointment. Oh my God. I was like, not married, no kids, single. I couldn't have committed a worse crime.
What do you mean you don't want kids? You're too young to know. You'll change your mind in your 20s. Of course you think you don't want kids. You're only 25. That clock will start ticking in your 30s though. I know you think you don't want them now, but menopause is soon. You'll change your mind. You'll see. Menopause. When you see your friends with their grandkids, you'll change your mind and adopt. Just you wait. You'll get bored of retirement, but it's alright. You can do a surrogacy. You think you don't want kids now, but you'll change your mind when you're actually dead. I know you're dead and gone to heaven, but all those cherubs flying around are gonna give you baby fever.
Things people say to a childless and child-free woman about why don't you have children. Here's how I respond at 73. Throughout the decades, it will change. When you're in your 20s and 30s, people will say, oh, when are you having children? Why don't you have children? By the time you're in your 40s and 50s, now it has shifted over to, how come you never had children? I'm kind to people, so I just say, oh, it wasn't in the cards. I tried, but it just didn't work. But if you're in your 20s and 30s, it's a sensitive time. So many of you are trying, and like me with in vitro, I always got a negative response, and it was heart-shattering. I didn't want to discuss it, but I still wanted to be kind. So I would always say something lighthearted like, well, it's just not in the cards, or I'm still a child myself. Why do I want to bring another one into the world? It doesn't have to be snarky, but know also that you don't owe anyone a response. Now I'm in my 70s. I don't have to worry about that anymore. So anyway, I wish you all good luck. Be strong out there when those questions come. And I know they do. Just be strong, choose happiness, and move on. Okay, bye.
This child-free trend that is going on with Gen Z, they openly will say they don't want kids. And I used to years ago think that people without kids they were super selfish, and now I've changed my views. I now think that it is selfish to have kids that you don't truly want. I truly think that some boomer parents had kids and they really didn't want to be parents. It was just society telling them to be parents. I think now millennials and Gen Z are openly saying, I do not want kids. I want to travel. I want to have more money for myself and my husband. I want to have a nicer house, have a nicer car, eat out, have nice food, nice things. They're open about saying, I'm child free. And I respect that. I actually think that's a very mature decision. It's mature for one to say that. And it's actually not selfish.
Seeing so many people online lately bragging about how they don't have kids.
I find this type of response to child-free content really interesting because why do you get so emotional about it? I have a lot of people on my feed that have kids. They post jokes about what it's like to raise kids. They post videos about their life with their family, videos about the realities of having kids, the joys of having kids. And guess what? I don't feel any particular way about it because their life decisions has nothing to do with me and my decision not to have kids. Not having kids was the right decision for me, and I know a lot of people that are absolutely delighted and love being parents. So having a kid is not a flex, not having a kid is not a flex. So when we make jokes about, yeah, I get to book a flight to Italy or I get to sleep in, how is that different from the same types of jokes that people with kids make about the realities of having kids? It's not. What I do take issue with is that this creator saying that she chose to have kids because she wanted a life of purpose and meaning, as though people without kids live lives without purpose and meaning. Think about that judgment for a second. It is perfectly normal for people to want to create content, sharing about their life, talking about their life, joking about their life. You don't see me going up to parents making content saying, why are you making content about being a parent? It's not the flex you think it is. It's almost like you can just let people make their own life decisions and not judge them. And if it's not for you, just move on.
This right here is what I am afraid of in the next 5 years. I don't want to be afraid of it, but I feel afraid of it because it already has happened in little ways. And I'm like, oh, I miss those friends.